and what is I am in Eastern wisdom, so that my intellect understands it clearly, and then I can get rid of what I am not easily. Last week we had a session. You have an extreme pain in the body. So that I am is the body. But why I am is the body? Because I identify myself with the body. Why there is an identification? Because of attachment. Because of not knowing the real I. So if I know the real I, will I have no pain? No. You'll have a pain, but your level of endurance will be very high. So there are two things. One is the pain in the body, and other is the mental suffering. So when there is a suffering because of identification, and pain has to take place in the body. So when you bring an end to the suffering, how? By dropping the identification, your area, your focus of the pain is very minimal. And you have a higher, that is what we say, the higher level of tolerance. Example. You have an extreme pain and the mind is deeply identified. It goes into a delusion, and then you say, I'm dying, it's a terrible. So the area of the pain becomes very big. Why? Because the identification of the mind is with the body. When you rise in awareness, you have a higher level of endurance. When you de-identify yourself with the body, the area of the pain is this much before with identification, and area of the pain is just a spot. The other area of the circumference, because of which you are experiencing the pain, actually do not exist. No, but I feel it. Yes, it exists in identification. It does not exist in de-identification. It exists in identification. So that also gives another clue that when I live in a higher awareness, the identification, or you can say ignorance or delusion or the false I, is not pushing me to go there and experience, return with that experience, and identify with the I. That is what happens. There is a tradition in southern India, also in almost in every religion, and what we call the mystic and otherwise, whatever you say, they also call a spiritual tradition. It has nothing to do with their spirituality. So you chant some mantra, and in that mantra, your mind is disconnected with the body, and you recognize there is a disconnection, and then you take a big knife and you pierce it into this cheek, and it comes out through this cheek you are normal. There is no pain. So, in a hypnotic state also, that is more or less a hypnotic state because it does not help you to evolve and rise in consciousness and become a spiritual person. People may claim it. Let them claim it. It doesn't work that way. But when I understand that there is a rise in awareness, there is a rise in awareness. So in the left eye, on that particular day when they did the surgery, I was totally unconscious for 15 to 20 minutes. But when they did it on the right eye, I was fully conscious. Within 10 minutes, they did the surgery and I asked them, "Oh, you did? Oh, yes, yes." Doctor said, "We did it." "What? I didn't feel it." So in the first case, mind was identified. In the second case, the mind is not identified. I have a very lively experience with these two eyes. So with that reference, if we need to understand, what we have been understanding is the awakening and realization. Awakening is the initial shift, initial awareness or a shift in perception. So when there is a shift in perception means what? You had a pain, there is a shift in perception. How? By knowledge. What is that knowledge? I am not the body. Mind goes there and your mind returns, I am not the body. Mind goes there, you return again, I am not the body. But are you able to do it or not? When you fail to do, you are living at a lower level of awareness and the area of the pain goes on increasing. And when you are able to shift, you actually recognize the pain starts from a point. You cannot say that I have a pain in the whole finger. You are identified. No, start finding out where exactly the pain starts. So the moment you locate where from the pain starts, you have a rise in awareness. Simultaneously, there is a de-identification. When there is a de-identification, you have a less stress and suffering. That is the process the Eastern wisdom uses. So awakening is that shift in perception. It is a moment. It is a moment you become aware that there is a more to life, there is a more to what I am than the body. So the awakening is something like I discussed, that light bulb goes on and you start to see. You start to see that there is something more to me. And that becomes permanent. Shift in awareness becomes permanent. What it means? You have clearly understood that you are not the body. You continue to live in rise in awareness, and you are now a spiritual seeker. The psychotherapist who attends a group session, the psychotherapist also attends. So she was saying that even after understanding this process of delusion and identification, and then I went into the practice, my eyes were so tired before, and my body was feeling tired before, because I fought with my son, I reacted to him, and after the practice I feel I'm liberated. That is your awakening. That is your awakening.
What if you I'm struggling during my practices lately?
Yes, the moment you have a struggle, it means the mind is moving outward. It identifies with a lot of stuff. at the subconscious level, at the habitual level. What should I do? I should be consistent in the practice. I should not leave the practice. One. Second is, when I'm doing the practice, I should explore what is the point of the struggle. I should maintain an awareness. Okay, my mind is going there. So where it is going? It is moving to that girl, or it is moving to something else. So when you recognize where the mind is moving, it is not going to bring any result. The mind will stop moving. So the knowledge is required. Exploration is required during the practice. That will help you to rise in awareness. But if you are simply doing the practice mechanically and habitually, we always sleep. We go into deep sleep and we are relaxed. We wake up and we remain the same person. Then there will be no change. So the struggle indicates mind is moving outside. Meditation brings the mind inside. So recognize the point of friction, where the mind is going. If you do not uproot the root cause, you start exploring. Means what? You are doing the practice and in the middle and you are lost. So open your eyes and find out where the mind is lost, why it is lost. Contemplate and reflect, and then go back into the practice again. You'll find the change. But if you are simply doing mechanically and habitually, it will not bring a change.
So during the practice, I go through that process?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Knowledge should be there. Without knowledge, nothing is possible.
Okay. And then, and I know that we're not going to talk long about it because obviously I want you to go with the lesson, but last Tuesday, I can't explain to you the amount of pain. I understand pain, oh, I have a headache, or oh, my arm hurts, but that was a level of pain I've never experienced, and I fail miserably during that meditation. I understand what you're saying, but man, that was a level of pain that I was not able to handle.
So we say in Eastern wisdom that your level of identification was so strong that your mind entered into a delusion. In that delusion, your mind strongly identified with the body, and when it identifies with the body, then you say, I had an extreme pain. You never say, my body has a pain, and I'm not the body. So it means that mind lived in a deeper delusion. That also indicates the future challenges and their problems. It means the world of events will continue to change. If I happen to have, say for example, if someone breaks my heart, I will feel the emotional pain. It is only the physical pain. If someone insults me, I will feel the mental pain. It means my mind is living at a lower level of consciousness and it instantly identifies. I have to work on this.
Okay.
So it's a strong identification. Why there is an identification? There is a great amount of proof in the science. You have an extreme pain. Take a steroid or take an anesthesia. You still have a pain, but you don't experience the pain. So that very experience because of identification. I am you, you are me. I am you, you are me. And this process of de-identification begins the journey of our self-discovery. So we also discussed about real self. I have to contemplate, I have to repeat these lessons in my head again and again and again. Repeat listening settles your mind inside. It prevents moving outside. I have told you maybe 100 times that you can remove the identification by listening, learning, contemplation, and reflection. By practice, it settles. But if the listening, learning, contemplation, and reflection is not there, you are only doing the practice one day will become a failure. So, anyhow, real self we discuss, it is an absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. That is what we have experienced in our, that is what we have understood in the journey. Now it is good to understand what is inquiry. What is inquiry? That will help you to understand clearly what is inquiry. Inquiry is it is a process by the intellect seeking information, knowledge, truth. That is daily inquiry. So I'm not talking about the self inquiry. I'm only talking first of the inquiry, then I will add what is self inquiry so that the things become clear. What is the time now? Inquiry. Where is the weather today? Inquiry. What I have in my breakfast? That is also a normal inquiry. These thoughts, we use that inquiry process every day in our life. What is my agenda today? Your intellect is asking the mind, then mind says, oh, yesterday I have already fixed an appointment, I have to meet today now. Inquiry, pay attention. I know you are intelligent, so let the intellect use this, understand this with clarity. Inquiry. What is on my schedule today? Inquiry. I'm just telling you that what happens early in the morning when you have those thoughts. So there are thoughts pertaining to inquiry. There are thoughts, unwanted thought that enters into the mind. That is not the inquiry. So can I get rid of those thoughts? Yes. How? By just become aware. Then you are at your job. How can I solve this problem? This employee has not come, but it is urgent. Inquiry. By first you do the inquiry, then you solve the problem. First you raise a question. When you wake up in the morning, does your mind raise a question? I have yet to find out who am I. No. You go into anxiety first. So first I have to tackle your anxiety first. I have to tackle your identification first. Then your mind will start, oh, who am I? So it means there is no self-inquiry. How many days you wake up last week, the first thought you had of the self-inquiry? No day. That is how we understand a level of our seeking. My identification is so deep with the body, with the profession, with the wealth, with the sensuality, that this thought of inquiry, that who am I, never comes to my mind. Do you see? And then we claim, no, I am. No, I am. You are already gone. You did not raise this question. So we do inquiry throughout the day. Oh, what is in my lunch? What is for a dinner? How was my day? How much I feel relaxed in the body? But I never ask, who am I? Why? Because I have already taken for granted my false I is me. So throughout the day I am not aware, My mind is engaged in the external world, and then I sit and practice meditation. Meditation will fail. It may be the highest meditation practice, or it may be the greatest enlightened teacher like the Buddha come to you and say, okay, let me give you the practice. Nothing will happen. Inquiry. We are just talking of the inquiry. We are doing the inquiry throughout the day. But which movie I'm going to watch tonight? Did you ask who am I? No. No. So how can I expect that there will be a rise in awareness throughout the day? I'm not saying that you are interfering your professional, personal, family activities, but inside. Mind is busy inside with the external world. It has no time to think. Why it has no time to think? Because I forget it. Why I forget it? Because I'm living in ignorance. But why I'm living in ignorance? Because I have taken the false I as the real I.
What is the false I? Is that all delusion?
Yeah, all delusion. I feel pain. What I'm going to have for my dinner. Explore. I'm just explaining. So there are many types of inquiry. What I'm going to have in my dinner. Okay, you may say chicken or etc. or pasta. Now my mind has taken for granted that I'm the body. The body is going to eat. This is false I. But I don't become aware. Huh?
What is false I? Asking what you're going to have for dinner?
Who is asking that? Who is going to get a dinner?
The
mind. Mind is addressing to the body is going to have a dinner.
Yeah.
So my identification that I am the body is false I. Behind the mind, I'm going to have a dinner. So that I am is the body is going to have a dinner. That is the false I.
Okay.
It is not what I'm going to have a dinner is false I. That I am the body who is going to have a dinner is false I. I have an extreme pain where in the head or in the shoulder. What you are referring you as a body. That is false I. I am in stress. The mind gets the stress, you are not. But you identify with the mind, I am the mind, then I have a mental stress and depression. That is false I. You have to understand indirectly, it is not a physical entity.
I know.
It is false I, is just an identification. Did you get it?
Yeah, I did get it, but I'm saying if I'm thinking about what I'm going to feed the body, there's nothing wrong with that.
There is nothing wrong. If you are identified and then you are asking, you are 100% wrong. You are saying that making the same statement, you are not identified, you are 100% right. That is the only difference. So what happens? What happens? I remain identified, and then I raise a question. There is nothing wrong. So I'm still identified. I'm asking a question. I'm living in ignorance.
Is feeling hunger a natural bodily feeling, like having to go to the restroom, or is it?
Yeah, that is what, your mind is stretching towards more ignorance. That is the problem. That is why we are not living in a higher awareness. What did you say? What did you say? The feeling hunger is it wrong? No.
No, not wrong. Is the feeling of hunger the same as the feeling of having to go to the bathroom?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
Is it a natural bodily?
Yeah, these are natural body impulsive habitual activities. So we are not more identified. So you want to go to the restroom, you go to the restroom, you come back. That happened in couple of the sessions. There is no identification. I am hungry, let me eat the food. There is no identification. No, I will only eat pasta that will meet my hunger. That is identification.
Of course. Or overeating. What about
Oh,
overeating?
yeah, overeating or undereating.
Yeah.
Both. Both are. So now just use these two examples. Many types of inquiries. I will take 4 or 5 types of inquiries that is required in the very beginning before we go for self inquiry. Why? Because the self inquiry includes all these different processes. Where is the capital of US? This is also an inquiry, but this is an information gathering. Just information. So I want certain information. Where is the nearest gas station? Yes. It's just an information seeking. That is also an inquiry. So when the master of the Eastern wisdom teaches, first he presents the information. Now from the information you go to the second level, the knowledge gathering. Oh, you said Washington DC is the capital. What it is, can you give me more information about it? So more information is the knowledge gathering. Where is the Washington DC located? What is the geographical location? What is the population, etc., etc., etc.? So now that is the second level. Now, what is the information? I said you are the real self. I don't do the repeat listening, so the knowledge gathering is absent. So every time you meet me or anyone, people meet me, not specifically you in general, oh, you told me there is a real self. Oh, I told you that there is an Iceland. Do you know? Throughout the week, you don't remember this. You did not gather the knowledge. You did not repeat the listening. You did not contemplate and reflect. Then it is not going to happen. So, in the inquiry, the first step, information gathering. Second step, knowledge seeking. After the knowledge, Washington DC, it's very cold. Also, where it is located, so it is cold. That is the third step of inquiry. Normal inquiry I'm talking about. So these normal inquiry also is included in the self inquiry. Reflection. So where it is located? It's a northern part and it's near to the northern hemisphere. Oh, that's why it is very you're reflecting. You're reflecting. That is what I said, the third aspect. After reflection, you have to, fourth aspect is investigation. Investigation is also a part of the self inquiry. We have to follow all the 4 processes. I wanted to answer the question so that you will be inspired and motivated that self inquiry includes all these. Not only information gathering, knowledge gathering, reflection, and then investigation. What is that investigation? So, investigation, yes. So, I have to find out little more in depth about the Washington DC, about my body, about my mind. I don't investigate deeply, so I continue with the identification and then I react to it. And the fifth one, let me add fifth one, exploring. So all these 5 aspects are included in the self inquiry also. So all these five aspects are included at different level when we do the inquiry in the material world. I only seek an information. Where is capital of US is located? Simple. So I understand it and finished. I don't think too much about it. Oh, which phone is good? Android phone is good or iPhone is good. I don't go into the chip inside. So when I go into the chip inside and I want to know the functioning, that is investigation and exploring. So if I don't move my mind into investigation and exploring what is real self, simply listening will not work. Did you understand that?
Yeah.
So all the aspects are included into the self inquiry. First thing. Second part is also very interesting, that the process of inquiry, investigation, or research or exploring the world outside is different than exploring the world inside. There is a different set of process, there is a different steps that needs to be understood, and we mistake. We use the scientific method and a protocol to find out the real self. Not possible. Not possible. Now see in the self-inquiry. No research study ever like to inquire or do the research, whether in physics or chemistry or biology or psychology, that you do all the research activities in a waking state of the mind. So here we say you are a waker, then only you can do the self inquiry. If you are unconscious, habitual, impulsive, your self inquiry will fail. What it means, you have to think of it deeply. A doctor may be criminal and he may be a wonderful doctor. An engineer can be a great engineer, at the same time he may be a scammer. Scammer is inside. This will not apply in the Eastern wisdom. This will not work. Mind has to be pure. Mind has to live in higher awareness. It is possible in the external world. You may be a very cruel politician and you may be highly successful. Then what? One guy wrote an article where, I have to find out again if I happen to have a time. The guy asked the AI, is Elon Musk a good person? The AI said no. you, you see that? So I started laughing. I said, this is wonderful. So I should ask myself, is Girish Jha a good or bad person to the AI? Quite interesting.
Yeah.
So what I did then, I put the same question to Gemini. Gemini is another Google AI. So the answer came that it depends on your perception. He is highly successful, he is the wealthiest, he is tech savvy, then he is a good person if you have that kind of a perception. So he is highly depressed or 5 or 4 more traits, then you can say that he is a bad guy. So now this results into a confusion. What happens in self-inquiry? Can you think of it? In the self inquiry, it happens which part of your mind says a guy is a good person, which part of the mind says that this guy is a bad person. Both parts of the mind is present inside you. You have to inquire that mind. It comes because of the memory, the past impression, your cultural upbringing. Based on that, you have divided the two categories on which you say one guy is a good and one guy is a bad guy. In self inquiry, we have to inquire deep inside into our thinking. It is your thinking which says, I have a pain. For a time being, if you get rid of that thinking and still you have a pain, you have never inquired that. So the Eastern wisdom does the self inquiry at a very subtler level. It does not need any instrument outside. Your mind is the instrument. You refine your mind. You don't allow the mind to become your master. Mind is the worst master, I have repeated. Mind is the faithful servant. So, in the journey of this self inquiry, I have to be extremely aware, alert, and vigilant about these two types of the thoughts. You have negative thoughts, you are obsessed with it, or the thoughts of sensuality or identification, you are living in hell. Hell and heaven is not in the sky, it is here and now. So it means in the journey of the self inquiry, I have to question my own mind, internal dialogue, internal questioning. If I don't do it, this mind is going to create a hell for me. Not only that, I have to apply everything into my thinking process: information, knowledge, reflection, investigation, exploration. I don't apply that. So meditation practice will not be successful. The last practice, that is why it did not succeed. Mind was so much obsessed at the information gathering and the knowledge level only. I have a pain. I don't want to listen to your mindset. You did not say. It did not want to reflect. It did not want to investigate. It did not want to explore. Buddha said there is a beautiful collections of the stories where his students collected the stories living with the Buddha. Buddha had an extreme pain in the knee. The good story. Extreme pain in the knee. So Buddha expressed that I have an extreme pain in the knee, and it was throughout my entire kneecap and also in the back of the knee. So I'm not going to give a talk for half an hour. Wait for half an hour. Master, what will you do half an hour? I will pinpoint the point of the pain. Every pain starts from a point. You cannot say that I have a pain in whole my hand. Pain has to start from some point and then it spreads. So he lied down, and later, once he returned, he said, I have recognized there is a pain only in one point. And now I need not to endure the pain because When I pointed out this is the center of the pain all around my knees disappeared. Why? There was no pain, it was only the association of the mind. The circumference, the pain around the circumference was the suffering created by the mind due to the identification with the knee. Go back, what I said. If I don't inquire, what inquiry entails? Information, huh? Knowledge, then reflection, then investigation, then exploration. If I don't, but if I don't, if my mind does not allow me to go beyond the information, how can I do the self inquiry? But why it is happening? Because I strongly identify. What I have to do, I not only have to do the repeat listening, but I have to do the practice regularly without fail. What if I fail today? No worries. Do the practice tomorrow. Ask the question. Then you become a higher level of a seeker. So, internal dialogue, going back, that by thinking, I have not to conclude what the AI said, Elon Musk is good and bad. I have to inquire. My mind, my own mind, subjective area. So, what is internal dialogue and the questioning going on? Say, for example, I hate the electric cars. Then, do you think that I will like Elon Musk? So, it means it is coming from my past impression. Oh, so then it is a wrong idea, it's a wrong perception. So, the internal dialogue and the question, I have to question that. I have to analyze that. And once I analyze, I have to reach to a conclusion. Then only I can move ahead. So the inquiry entails, now I'm telling you, the entire journey of the self inquiry entails not only consistent listening and learning, contemplation and reflection. Why? I've answered. Another point of answer. I'm the real self, This real guy has told me every time that you are the real self, full of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom, but I don't experience that. Now I believe, that belief will not work. That is why majority of the people have left the religion, because every priest, they don't explain you why. They say believe in this God. Why? Because I am a father in that, I am a priest in that religion. Nobody believes that. Blind belief does not work. So, in the journey, if you go with a blind belief, it will not work. I have to question. This master says, the real self is of the nature of peace and happiness. Did I live in peace and happiness throughout this week? No, I had a moment of anxiety, reaction, duality, and a conflict. From where it comes? I have to explore that. I have to find out. I have to chase this master. Why he says this? So here, the thinking, speaking, and practice. There are three elements. Speaking means that you raise a pertinent question, relevant question. Why? Because you raise a doubt, you clarify the doubt, you remove the doubt, and then you do the practice. Practice will be successful. Practice will definitely be successful. We are trying to understand the journey of the self inquiry. Why? To realize the real self. That is the goal. Why to realize the real self? It brings an end to the suffering. It brings an end to the suffering. Now let me give you one understanding also. You will get some. I've been telling you that you were not very much interested because you have never referred that. So I'm bringing it back in a different way.
Okay.
So, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Now see that. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, I take refuge at the feet of awakened ones. That is the meaning of the first line. And Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, I take refuge in the collective consciousness, because that is only one consciousness of the nature of peace and happiness. Means what? Go on, investigate. Why this teaching is there? Oh, that teaching is there that everyone has the same consciousness. After investigation, you recognize it, not before that. But if you simply believe it, then what will happen? One is your enemy, you are saying, no, except him, consciousness is one. So it will remain, the doubt remain. And the Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam. So Dhammam literally, if you translate into English, it means I take refuge into the Buddhism. That is a wrong translation. I take refuge in what holds me all the time. What holds me all the time? Consciousness. I have a handsome body like yours. Minus consciousness, body is nothing. Body is nothing. It may be highly handsome. So I take refuge in what holds me. That is the meaning of the...
Again, you take refuge in what holds you?
What holds me all the time. What holds everyone all the time.
Which is the real self.
Which is the real self, which is the pure consciousness, which is the existence. What holds the earth to continue to move on its axis? There is not even a fraction of a second of a change. You change the axis of an earth, what will happen? If you change the axis of the sun, what will happen? The entire solar system will be destroyed. So what holds everyone, everything, to create that harmony is what is known as Dhamma. But when the Dhamma is roughly translated as a religion, we misunderstand it.
What does it mean?
That is what holds everything.
Dharma.
Yeah, that is Dharma.
So Dharma is everything.
It has nothing to do with organized religion. That is the... But that I laid down this foundation because of something else.
But Dharma is not the real self.
No, Dharma is not what holds me. Means that the power of the real self is holding me. That power is the Dharma. And that is expressed by the thought, speech, and action.
Okay.
There are many other ways to understand it, but now why I talked about this. So, Buddha taught for about 90 years. There are many other examples of all the great masters, but it's preferable to understand. So, Buddha taught for almost, I would say, 45 to 46 years. I got enlightenment around 40 to 45. He lived until 85 to 90 years. Not a single day he rested. He visited every village and he taught anytime. Anyhow, he left the body. Then all the monks were gathered together in oldest university in the my native state of Bihar in India.
Really? Is it still there?
Yeah, it is still there.
Wow.
So there is the oldest university which is known as the Nalanda and Takshila University that existed so thousands of years ago.
Wow.
And there all the monks were gathered and they collected all the teachings of the Buddha and they said where or how to start their teaching. Then only during the time of the Buddha these mantras were not recited because Buddha was alive. So how to convey that meaning? Those enlightened masters, they said there are three basic chanting. Dhammam sharanam gacchami, buddham sharanam gacchami, sangham sharanam gacchami. So they laid down those principles, and though they were also the great masters. So they laid down the principles in order to help. It invokes the auspiciousness in the mind. It withdraws the mind from the external sources. It helps you to raise your awareness and attention. In Eastern wisdom, that practice is known as the Mangala Charan practice. I have told you, I have discussed in 10 sessions. I'm aware that you did not talk about it, so I said, okay, let me move in a different direction. Mangala Charan is any Shanti mantra that you don't forget to do the practice every day in the morning and before going to sleep and during the day. You remind. Remind means your mind is reminding. Mind is reminding means mind is reminding that Shanti mantra with reference to the real self. All the activities of the world is not with the real self. So the mind remains in the state of forgetfulness. So the Mangalacharan mantra always keeps you in the state of an auspiciousness. Did I not talk about Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina? Let everyone be happy. Let everyone be healthy. Let everyone be blessed. Let there be no suffering in the world. But my intellectual mind does not want to accept. What will happen by this? What is happening by crying that I have a pain in the body? Keep on crying. So when nothing happens with this, you get more down. By the Shanti mantra, you start rising in awareness. So let everyone be happy. And then I gave another mantra also, and your intellect did not accept it. I said, okay, then I will follow another route to come back to this. So today I have come back after many months. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. You with eyes open, may there be happiness. Happiness to my family, happiness to my brother, happiness to, oh, that guy whom I reacted today. What happens? My mind changes. I want my mind should change. But I'm not doing it. So how it will happen? Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Except that guy. Except that guy who reacted against me. Oh, that impression is still present in me after a week. No, that's not good. Why that is not good? If that reaction is present in my mind, I will again forget my own nature. That impression against that stranger will be applied to the second person, and second person may be my dad or brother or sister.
Yeah.
So that is the power of the Shanti mantra. So basically, in Buddhism, Shanti mantra was not taught when the Buddha was there. All those monks were realized that this is important because now we are teaching, not the Buddha is teaching. And the same way, we start every text, every teaching starts with the Mangala Charan. I always like to start it, but there is no acceptance. Intellect without understanding, without ongoing the practice, intellect lays it off. Why it lays it off? I did not understand the entire journey of the self-inquiry. Information, knowledge, reflection, investigation and exploration. Oh, let me explore. What is the problem if I spend 5 or 10 minutes every day in the morning, during the day and in the evening? Let me do it. I will commit myself that I will do it for 3 months and let me see. If nothing happens, then I will challenge the master. That is the job of a seeker.
To challenge you?
Yes. Oh, nothing is happening because you are doing the practice every day. You did not fail. And the beauty is what? You remember, may there be happiness for all. Your mind drops your anxiety, duality, and a conflict. There is no way you will not find the change. But
That's like a loving kindness meditation.
no, it's not loving. That is, US version of loving kindness
Yeah.
meditation. So that version will not work. I have to contemplate. Today I will teach him a lesson. Let everyone be happy. Why I will teach him a lesson? So let me inquire. It's a profession. So let me communicate and talk to him in a right manner. That is going to happen to the mind. So it's not a loving. What is that? Loving mindfulness? Loving whatever it is.
Like they call it like loving kindness. Like may all be happy. Like may all be healthy. May all they have like the different mantras.
And this is again from the same mantra, but we have to contemplate and reflect. We have to explore. May everyone be happy with reference to my crazy mind. That my mind is now calm and relaxed and happy, and I'm passing on that happiness to you. But why I feel that happiness? Because I got rid of my reaction and anxiety and duality. That is the first step. So my mind is now clear. I'm already angry and I'm saying I love you. That is what happens is the problem of divorce.
Yeah.
We become soulmate and then after a few months we become soulmate. Oh, I love you and still, I have reservation about you. What do you mean? Love and hate, they can coexist. They do not coexist. But we talk in terms of it. It's a hollowness, it's emptiness. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
So Mangala Charan means that, I embrace, I contemplate and reflect. And then I live throughout the day. I analyze myself, that where I missed it. Missed means forgetfulness. Forgetfulness means ignorance. Ignorance means that I think, speak, and act out of the false self. Now, this Mangala Charan mantra will help you to start living in awareness, and it will purify the mind, and then it will work such a beautiful way. See that? So we will restart, and then you have to think. Don't take it as only a loving mindful